Oh my God. Hopefully you guys are still around. Have you stayed on YouTube, ladies? I just wanted to follow up because that felt like that was a super short update, even though it was 18 minutes long. I joined late though. So if anybody joins here, I'll hang out for a little bit and see. Hey, Cindy, how are you? What's going on? Yeah, I was just gonna follow up because hey, Miss Kelly's World, how are you? Chocolate Coated Live, Brenda Ellen. Hey. I'm glad everybody stuck around. I just wanted to dial in because I was like too late to I was late to the other one, and I feel like I didn't get to talk to you. Hey, Tanika TTC. How did your Netflix watch party go? I thought that was cool that you could have a watch party on there. I'm gonna try it out. I was telling my sister, but she didn't seem that interested in helping me organize one, but that sounded fun. Hey, Beautiful Southern Roots. Hey, Sophia Smith. Beautiful Southern Roots. I love that screen name. Oh, you're working, Cindy? Oh my goodness. Sophia Smith. Hey, girl. Yes. I'm trying to think who was just in the chat saying that they used a Georgia donor, or Georgia egg donor place, because I think my donor is going to be from Georgia. Who was that? Lashana. And then Beautiful. So yeah. And then Lashana said, I use donor eggs and my 7-week-old son looks just like his dad and I'm satisfied with that. I have 2 children I had naturally that look like me. Okay, so that's cool. I think also that was one of the reasons why I hesitated. Hey, Edgewood P. I know I'm probably butchering your name again. Sorry. Hey, Therese Wright. Oh, it was nice to watch with another adult. I'm sure. That was cool. I'm doing a virtual event on Sunday as part of an ERG for work. We're doing the Real Abilities Film Festival. It went virtual this year, so there's a panel with the Q&A on Sunday. So I invited some people. I think like 30 people RSVP'd. We'll see if they remember. It's on a Sunday. But it should be fun. We're trying to figure out ways to keep employees engaged because mostly everybody's working from home. There's still about 80 people going into 30 Rock, which is a little crazy. I was getting pictures, I'm going to show you guys, of New York while I was here. Let me see if I can show you. Can you guys see that if I do? That is the rink at Rockefeller Center, which you can see there's nothing there. This right here, oh my God, why can't I see? That's called Channel Gardens. That's usually teaming with people. If you've ever been over there in that direction, going that way is the American Girl store. And then I'll show you, there was another one. It's just crazy. That is Midtown, no bodies. So everybody is practicing safe practices so we can help with the healthcare system and keep the older people safe and the younger people. I think there's 40% of people under 50 who have contracted the virus. So, hey, Latifa, how are you? Cindy, scary but safe, stay indoors. Yeah, it's better safe than sorry. Like, stay inside. I've had a nasally thing, but they said one of the things is if you lose your sense of smell, that is a sign that you have COVID-19. I can still smell. It's just, I think the weather change coming out here, and it's polleny. My body's not really used to the California springtime anymore. So my body, hey, Carla. SoCal, so there's still a ton of people out. Really, Sophia? Oh my God, that's crazy. I know, I saw pictures of people like on the beach in Santa Monica, which just seems crazy to me. I guess, people haven't got the memo. I don't know what's going on, but it's not worth it. I mean, especially because my mom is immunocompromised, so I'm just like not taking the risk. I've been having the groceries delivered. I have all these Amazon packages. I'll probably do an unboxing later. My sister is going crazy because she's like, just open the boxes up. It may sound insensitive that I did not want to use a family member's eggs. I have nothing against people who do that. I think it's a personal choice. I was trying to be lighthearted in the video, so hopefully nobody got offended. But I think it's a personal choice where you get the eggs from. I just would not feel comfortable having my daughter's eggs. One, I know that the IVF process isn't fun and the injections and all that stuff. Two, my daughter has a medical condition that is really not conducive to IVF. And three, I don't know. I just feel like I would be taking something from her. And I fully, if I end up with a donor egg child, fully intend to explain to the child how they got there. And so I just think that would be awkward to tell that child, this is actually your biological mother, but for our purposes, she's your sister. You know what I mean? Like, just for me, it's just not a choice that makes sense for me. I get that it makes sense for other people. I've seen documentaries where women have used their niece's eggs. There's a woman who used both of children and it was fine. They all had to go through like psychological tests. This was in the UK, the video was, but they had to go through psychological tests. Like, you understand it's not your child, but it's biologically your child. So it gets a little messy that way, I guess. And I think the reason why I held out for so long on not considering donor eggs is I am using donor sperm as well. So that is already going to be an awkward conversation, right? Explaining to your child that they were conceived from donor sperm. And I think you start from when they're young and you just make it a part of the conversation. I was talking to my previous therapist about this. And so it's not like a stigma for them. So it'll be the same thing. I'll just start when they're young, like you were conceived from donor genetic material, and that's how you're here. Yeah, I just think, I've seen things where people, I mean, it's different now. I think people are more open about it to their kids, but there have been people who found out they're related through 23andMe or different things. And then you have, at least with the donor sperm, anyone who's donor eggs, let me know who's used donor eggs. At least with the donor sperm, you can track what they call dibblings, donor siblings. I think it might be that way with the eggs, but let me know because I'm just kind of delving into that. I haven't done a lot of research. Let's see. Hey, Carla. Latifa, I'm from London, staying to stay safe. Oh, you're from London. So I saw Boris Johnson finally went on lockdown, put the country on lockdown, and he tested positive. So hopefully he fares well. Brenda Ellen, I'm open to donor eggs, waiting for the pandemic to be over before I discuss it. If that is a direction to go. My reserve is still good though, so I may try to harvest mine first. Yeah, Brenda. So I've done 2 of my own egg retrievals, and this third, I'm going to do it a third time, but I will do it at the same time that the donor is also doing egg retrieval in tandem, just because I'm running out of time. Part of it, can't do scans and whatnot virtually. Never mind that I'm not in New York right now. But so we started talking about it. He gave me the list of donors. And actually, one of you guys asked me about the donor list. Let me just see if I can pull it up really fast on my screen. And I'll tell you which clinics I'm looking at. I think I will. Hopefully I saved it someplace in an easy to find. Nope, of course not. What about here? Let's just do a search really quick. Donor. Okay. Donor egg agencies. It's coming up. So they gave me, there's a whole list of them. He highlighted 4 for me. Obviously, there's some that I'm not going to use, but I'll list them off in case you guys are looking or interested. So there's one called Asian Egg Donation. There's another one called A Jewish Blessing. One that was highlighted for me is Creating New Generations. There's another one called Growing Generation. So that's 4. The 5th one is Happy Beginnings. The 6th one is the Exceptional, get it? Exceptional Donor Group. And then the last 3 are also highlighted for me. World Egg Bank, Cryos International, and California Cryo Bank, which I believe is part of the same sperm bank that I'm using, but I'll have to look. So yeah, that's what's going on there. But so I'm just all over the place. The doctor, we talked about it. We're going to do the 2 cycles in tandem, mainly because of time. When I had first talked to the doctor, they were still doing full cycles for people, but it was freeze all. And since then, they've sent out an email saying if they will finish any new cycles until whatever is going on with COVID-19 kind of sorts itself out. I'm sure you guys have been watching, but New York hasn't hit its peak yet. They're expected to in the next 2 weeks. So the deaths have been going up, up, up. They once it starts coming down, whatever that highest point was, that will be the peak. So once that happens, we'll have a better idea of like when things will be back to normal, whatever normal looks like on the other side. Okay. Marcia or Marcia Swisher, hello. Hi, Tanya. I'm glad you put that in there. I'm well. How are you doing? Thank you for praying for me and mom. My mom and my sister actually had to go back to Kaiser. Mom had her chemo yesterday. Wednesdays are chemo days, and her hemoglobin was 8. And so 8 or lower, the doctor worries. So she had to go back today for a blood transfusion, which we were kind of annoyed that they didn't tell us ahead of time, because maybe she could have banked some of her own blood, or used mine. My mom and I are the same blood type, O positive. And anyway, that's what she's doing right now. So it's probably gonna be a couple hours. Her appointment was at 2:30. They said it would be, I think, 2 hours. So it's 3:30 now. So I'm sure she's halfway through. Okay. Evelyn Castillo Rosado. Brenda said makes sense. Thanks, Brenda. Evelyn, I was doing my IVF earlier in March. My retrieval was 317. My systems were so bad, but not sure if it was COVID-19 or side effects from the injectables. Oh, I'm sorry, Evelyn. Oh no. Yeah, who knows? Are you in New York? It's hard to say with what's going on. And I think it just worries me, like if my eggs are in a lab that could potentially, I'm sure all the labs are taking precaution. I'm not trying to say that any lab is growing a virus or has a virus around, but I would just feel better like once this is more contained, controlled, possibly cured, or not a cure, but I guess a treatment, other than making people comfortable. Is there a difference with embryos versus the use of donor eggs? Is there a difference with embryos versus the use of donor eggs? I'm not sure what you mean. Like donor embryos, is that what you mean? Is there a difference? I think the embryo is the sperm and the egg have already been put together, and then the donor egg is just the egg all by itself. Like, so my insurance does not cover donor embryos. It will only cover fresh donor cycle eggs. So even if like there was someone in a catalog who had already had their eggs cryopreserved, my insurance would not cover that. So I wouldn't be pursuing that option. But some people do. I know there are places that will let you purchase embryos, because some people have embryos, which it's kind of a big deal. They've created embryos, like, the younger women are going to get, I don't know, 20. They may end up with 10. They may only have 3 children, and then they have these 7 embryos that they've created. So they end up donating. And it's only donation because they're paid for it and the person getting them pays for them. So it's like donation in the sense of like organ donation, that you're giving your body parts away, I guess. But let me know if that's what you meant. I'm not sure that I understood your question, but hopefully I got close. Let's see. Evelyn, you're in NYC. Yeah. So did you end up having a successful retrieval? Did you get any eggs from it, or did you guys end up canceling? I think it's just better to wait, honestly. It just seems scary. And is it worth the risk, like getting on the subway? And you know what I mean? Like you're exposing yourself to risk, and it's pretty scary right now. Cindy said in New Jersey. What about in New Jersey? I think you can adopt. Yes, you can adopt embryos if that. Yep. I've seen people do that. My insurance does not cover that, so I will not be adopting any embryos. But yep, that is definitely a thing. Oh, okay. I think I follow that. My biggest issue with researching donors is the African American choices are low for egg donors. Yes, beautiful Southern roots. So that was, I think the place that I'm going to end up going is they are in Georgia, the ladies who are donating the eggs. I struggled with it because I have so many qualms about it, right? I feel like from a socioeconomic standpoint, it bothers me. Like, I don't think it's just. But it's a whole other thing that I've grappled with. But it is available, so I'm going to pursue that option. But it does feel like I'm buying body parts. And it doesn't bother me in the same way that the sperm does. So I don't know. That's something I don't know if that's like my super feminist side or what. But I feel a little bad about it. I'm not going to lie. Marsha, I'm supposed to do another transfer hopefully this month, but all depends on how the situation with the virus is. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. I think a lot of things in our life are on hold related to COVID-19. Couples did embryo adoption. Yes, Cindy. There's a couple on YouTube. They're Canadian, so the laws may be a little different, but they did an embryo adoption, and the biological parents are still in the picture. I can't think of their name. They tried for like a long time. They're young, really cute. You guys know who I'm talking about. Carla, I agree. Oh, Evelyn, you had 3 eggs. Cool. I mean, is that what you were expecting? How many? I know they go in with the number and then you hope 3. I'd be grateful to have 3, but maybe you were expecting more, but still cool. Congratulations. And were they planning on, did they fertilize them or were you doing just a freeze? So Cindy, I saw that one. Sorry guys, trying to keep up. 2 fertilized, 1 was good for a few days, but then, oh no, I'm sorry, honey. That sucks. What's going on? Thank you. I had to take a big Band-Aid off of my face right before I started because my skin is reacting. You see how my glasses are resting on my actual skin? So right there. So that's where my thumbnail looks funny because I was like, I can't do that. Although I've been on conference video calls all day with that Band-Aid on my nose. But it's you guys, so I wanted to be cute. Let's see what else. Therese, right? Are you referring to my egg bank in Georgia? Okay, let me go back to that list and I'll tell you if it's my egg bank. I read it out. Did I close it? Hotmess.com. Give me 1 second. Let's go to File Finder again. It is. No, that's not it. I don't remember which one had the Georgia, but I'll tell you the 4 that the doctor recommended for me. So Creating New Generations, World Egg Bank, Cryos International, and California Cryobank are the ones that were referred to me. The women are living in Georgia, though, the one who are the donors. So they may not be living where the banks are, if that makes sense. But I will look into the one that you're saying. I'm going to write it down. My egg bank. I'll look into that one. Oh, my sister moved my pen again. I'll have to come back to the chat. But yeah. Expecting 7 for a freeze. Okay, so you were expecting 7. You got 3. 2 fertilized. 1 was good for a day. Yikes. So the other one, so you have 1 then it sounds like. And then I don't know if you're doing testing. A lot of people were commenting on testing. I did a whole video about my thoughts on PGS or pre-genetic screening. I always say testing. Depending on the degree of mosaicism. After having multiple losses, I think it would give me an extra level of reassurance. So it's hard on this journey because you kind of go into it with these thoughts of how you're going to deal with things. Like I was like, I'm not going to do donor eggs. I'm not going to do this testing. But things change and it's emotional. And so there are things, I don't know, we evolve, we adapt. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Tanya. BMGA, so nice. So nice to see you too. Evelyn, I have none left. No! Oh my God, I'm sorry. We were going to do PGS, but it didn't make it to that, I think. Okay. Yikes. Yeah, that happened in my last round. I only have 1, but day 6, something went wrong and it did not grow any further. That sucks. I'm sorry, honey. Thanks, Tanya. We did PGS on 3 and 2 were good. Okay, so Marsha, did you do PGS, did you do a cycle where you didn't do PGS, or have you transferred ones that weren't tested and then you decided to do PGS, or you knew straight away that you wanted to go to PGS? Reese Marie, what are the risks with donor eggs? Oh, that is a good question. Is it Reese? Reese Marie? Reese Marie? I'm still researching donor eggs, so I can probably research and do a video on it. If any other ladies want to chime in there, let me know. I don't know that there are any risk to carrying them, that it doesn't, or that there are more risks than with donor sperm. I guess there could be genetic issues, but that would be the only thing. And I have chatted with women on Instagram, or DM'd, is that called, whatever. I've DM'd with women on Instagram who have had their embryos created from donor eggs. I'm trying to make sure I say it medically correct. So they had embryos, right? They used donor egg, and they used their husband or their partner's sperm, and they tested those, and then they opted to not transfer if they had some abnormality. So there's that risk, but you can mitigate it because you never know if like that egg and a certain sperm are gonna do well together. So yeah, I think it just depends. But I don't know like any health risk to the mom who would be carrying them that I'm aware of. Hopefully that answered your question in a roundabout way, but I'll look it up, Reese, and I'll do a video on it. Are Yummy, AR Yummy. Hi, Tanika, love your videos. Oh, thank you. Waiting for PGT result for my 2 embryos. I'm super anxious. Both are BBs only. Not only, BBs are good. BBs are good. You have what you have, so you got to work forward from there, right? So PGT, did you do... did you have embryos before, or was there a genetic issue, or is it, I'm just always curious how people get to testing. Hey, Sarah, I am. I knew we were doing PGS from the start. You did know, Marsha. Okay. So yeah, it took me a while to get there. But my latest already talked me into it. So it makes sense. Is it standard to do PGS testing with donor eggs? I don't know, Bama. I don't know. I've only chatted with a few ladies about it, and the ones that I did chat with, they did do the testing. I'm not sure if that's normal or not. I think the presumption is that if they're younger, they're better, but that's not always the case. So I am going to do PGS testing on the embryos created from my eggs and from the donor. Especially after going through this caregiver situation, I don't think I'm equipped to, as things come, we handle them, right? But would I consciously make a decision to go into a situation where I knew I was going to have a special needs child? No, not at this point. So if it happens, we'll figure out things as they come, but I'm not going to court it. Cindy, when am I coming back to New York? I don't know. I can't leave right now because New York is on fire. It's really going to depend on the COVID-19 and my mom. My mom is, I don't know if I told you guys this. So last week she had her cancer markers tested, and the numbers are going down. She was like at 5,000, and now they're down to 1,000. And so they said, that is a good sign. That means her tumors are shrinking. So she's definitely a candidate for the debulking surgery, which is they're going to do, it's like a cesarean section, basically, or cesarean, a C-section. And sometimes my mouth does not keep up with my brain. No one asked you, Elsa. So when she has that surgery, she's going to be less able to move around. And so I'm going to be here for that surgery. So depending on when that is scheduled, if COVID-19 is still running rampant in New York, I'm not going to go back and come here because her immune system is compromised because of the chemo. So, and right now I couldn't go because I wouldn't be able to leave. There's a restriction on New York flights, domestic flights. And so, well, actually international too, but the governor has put a restriction, Governor Cuomo, on domestic flights unless they are absolutely necessary. So for those 2 reasons, I have no idea when I'm coming back to New York, but I am running out of clothing. So that's part of my Amazon stuff. I got like more stretchy clothes, which I'm going to do a video unboxing. So you guys will see. Let's see. I am okay, G family. I am okay. I am a little bit, I think, bothered by the pollen, but other than that, I'm good. Hey, Sabrina, nothing much. What's up with you, girl? Are not tested. Eggs are only one cell, so you can't test an egg. You have to test an embryo. You need more than one cell. If you test the egg, then you destroy it. You can do a PhD as embryos. I don't know what that means. Hi, Evelyn. I think I just updated you on my mom. Hopefully you saw that. She's doing good. She's out right now getting a blood transfusion. Her cancer numbers are down. She's looking forward to her debulking surgery. Overall, she's responded really well to chemo. Her ascites is gone, so she doesn't look 9 months pregnant. And the only thing is her weight. She's still not at 90 pounds yet, but this week she didn't lose any, she didn't gain any. So we will take it as we can. I'm trying to fatten her up, but it's rough. The good part is her appetite. Well, her appetite was never suppressed. She had an appetite. She wouldn't eat because it was getting stuck here. And so until it exited her body, she wouldn't put in anymore because it was just real uncomfortable, which I just imagine like if you eat on Thanksgiving or a big holiday or Easter or whatever, whenever you eat a big meal, you know how sometimes our eyes are bigger than our stomach and we just stuff ourselves and then you have that uncomfortableness. So I think she had that going on. So she wasn't taking in more food. So yeah, it's really about getting her weight up right now. But thanks for asking about her. Tansy Taylor, hope you're doing well. And your mom, thank you, Tansy. Oh no, I'm so sorry. G family, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. It scared me when they diagnosed her because they said she had so much cancer they couldn't see where it ended or where it began, which who says that? Like, but she's responding well, so we're focused on that. And yeah, we'll see what happens from there. I'm so sorry that you lost your mom. No, that sucks. That totally sucks. Cancer sucks. It's a crazy thing. So yeah, I think I covered everything. So the donor, I'm doing both. My eggs, donor eggs, it is California Cryobank. So that is where I get this from. California Cryobank is no longer available. So, can you guys see me? My internet connection is wonky. Can you hear me? Hopefully you can. Yeah, the donor that I had that I was using in 2017 and the beginning of 2018 from California Cryobank is no longer available. So I have to sit down and figure that out too. I was asking my sister to help me pick out egg donors. She wanted no part of it. She thinks it's weird. So it's hard because you want someone who looks like you so that it's not completely awkward, right? That your child looks nothing like you. And especially if you have a partner, then, that's a male partner. If they look like your partner, you're fine, but I'm not in that situation. So I want them to look like me, but I also want them to have a certain education. And then my mind rumbles about like, why is this woman donating her eggs as well? Is it for money? Is it because she wants to help? Is it for both? Hopefully it puts her in a better financial situation and she doesn't have any regrets later on, but it does, it's a little crazy. Thank you, City Liquor 45. What a provocative name, for the well wishes and the prayers. I appreciate that. Is it Jeremiah Irving? Now you can. Okay. Yeah, it was giving me like this fuzzy thing. I think all of our internets are overloaded, but I have this and I still have my work computer up. So, okay. Sophia, hello. Yeah, so I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions or look at Elsa back there? She just likes to be Elsa. Say hi to the people. You say hi? Say hello. Hello. What's going on? You want to come say hi? Hello. Say hi. Okay. She's like, yeah, when am I going for my walk, lady? Auntie TT, take me for a walk. Hello. And she has on her little, wait, let me see if I can show you guys. Look, her little lipstick, or I guess lips, whatever, on the back of her thing. Well, with the donor eggs, will the child have your DNA at all? So there is, in the strictest sense, no. In the strictest sense, no. So if the child, like if I didn't tell the child one day they went and took a 23andMe test, they would know that I was not their biological mom. But there's a thing called epigenetics where they say that there are parts of you that are transferred to the child while you are carrying the child. And so you have like a teeny bit of DNA, of your DNA, as well as having a connection with you from having grown in your womb. When I heard that, that kind of freaked me out about people who have surrogates. But in the strictest sense, like it's not detectable, the amount of DNA, like it wouldn't show up on a test. Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, so it would be, I think it would be easy. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say easier. It would be more straightforward if my insurance covered donor embryos, because then I would look at pictures of two people who had made an egg or who had made an embryo and then pick from there. But yeah, they don't cover it. So a lot of what I can and can't do is mandated by what the insurance. Well, not mandated. That's not right, because I could pay out of pocket, right? I could pay out of pocket. But I'm going on what more or less what my coverage provides for. Oh, look, they're giving you kisses. Do you see that? They're giving you kisses. Yes, they are. I've been sure I was going to do a live, and then I was like, uh-oh. Hello. It said it was unstable. Okay, it's back. Sorry about that. All right. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I'm glad that you were available for the live, my impromptu live. Other than that, I'm going to say goodbye. I'll hang out for a few minutes in case anybody has any questions. But then I'm going to go walk this little lady. I go out with a scarf on my face, and we are practicing. Everybody in the neighborhood is good. My sister lives in a gated community. They're pretty good about crossing the street when they see you coming. So hopefully you guys get to go out and get some sunshine. It's important to keep our sanity. Hey, Edra, you have a question about IUI. Okay, what's your question? Thanks, Brenda. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks, City Liquor. You too. Edwig. Insurance coverage till I'm 44. I turned 45 in September. Any recommendations? Ooh, move fast. Move fast. What does it cover? Your IVF? If you can do your retrieval by then, that would be helpful. I think in general, transfers are less expensive if for some reason you don't make it and you end up having to pay for your transfer out of pocket. I would do the retrievals. In fact, maybe just do back-to-back retrievals if you can, because September is coming fast. And see if insurance will give you an extension because of the COVID-19 and the things being restricted. It's a long shot, I know, but don't tell yourself no. Let's see. Maybe they can carry it at least to the end of the year. Bye, Marsha. Thank you. Good to see you too. Even though I can't see you, but I see you. You know what I mean. Let's see. Reese. Oh, you're contemplating IVF. I'm 48. Yes, me too. I'm 48, and I'll be 49 next month. But yeah, I'm 48. I would say IVF. Evelyn. Oh, IVF. Okay. So I would say, yeah, do as many egg retrievals as you can between now and September. And then if you have to do transfers out of pocket, Evelyn, it'll be less expensive because the retrievals it's more surgical where, you're awake during the transfer and whatnot. Edric, I'm 39 and doc won't do my IUI because I'm close to 40. Yeah. So most places will tell you after 35, the success of IUI goes down, mainly because as we age, our eggs, the zona, is it zona pellicuta? Pellicuta, hopefully I'm saying that right, starts to thicken. The outside of our oocytes of our eggs starts to get, like Elsa is like, what are you doing? But it starts to thicken, and so it's harder for the sperm to penetrate. So that's why the chances usually go down with the IUI. My insurance doesn't even cover it after 35, so I paid for my IUIs out of pocket. But I wanted to try that first. Again, as I've gone through this process, I've been willing to try more and more. But at first, I just thought the IVF was very invasive. Evelyn, yes. So they're saying they won't do it at all. Is it because of your insurance coverage or because their practice says that they don't want to do it? Because 39, almost 40 is, I mean, it's obviously over 35, but it's not like you're 45, and they did it for me at 45. I guess the question is, are you willing to move to IVF, and are they willing to take you there if they're saying no to that? Because Tanika TTC, who was on here, did hers at 39. And I think that is still, your chances of a successful IVF are much higher, 39, 40 than over 40. I mean, you still have a chance of a. So if you can afford the IVF, or if insurance is going to cover IVF, take that opportunity now, while your odds are greater. Okay. Edge. Okay, so I would go with now if you can do IVF. Let me know what your thoughts are on IVF. Jeremiah Irving, you look super, super young. I do. Oh, well, thank you. Good genes, good genes. A and AM. I just got my progesterone tested 7 days post ovulation. It was 9.7. Do you think I should start progesterone suppositories? Doctor won't be in for a few days. Any advice? Are you in an active cycle? I would say the progesterone suppositories won't hurt. I would just, once you start them, you're going to want to continue them though. So if the doctor is, just make sure you have enough. If you don't have enough to continue until you can get more, I would say not start it, because starting it and then stopping it would be more drastic than not starting it at all. I did a whole video on progesterone and like how it can help you start a period, or how it can create a miscarriage. So you want to be careful in that respect. As long as you have enough to continue, it won't hurt. I think they want to have at least 10 in active cycles in case you're pregnant. You want that to be at least 10 for a viable pregnancy. 9.7 is fairly close. So that's what I'm saying. If you don't have enough to continue, in the event the doctor doesn't prescribe more, don't do it. If you have enough, it's no harm. And then you would want to start taking the pregnancy test, because it can also delay your period if you continue on and you're not pregnant. So hopefully that makes sense. Reese Marie will be 49 next January. Okay. So you have a little bit of time. Yeah, I would get to the doctor, start doing your diagnostic test. The new clinic, what they made me do is I had to get like a cardio, I had to get an EKG, I had to get a letter signed from my doctor, from my, to carry a baby. I had to obviously do glucose testing and all that fun stuff just to make sure physically I was able to carry a baby. So you're going to need like a regular physical and all those things. So even if you haven't found a clinic yet, you can get some of that other stuff going. You can look at your blood work, have them run all your vitamin levels, see where you are. Two things you want to look for are your thyroid, the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, and then the prolactin. High prolactin can keep you from getting pregnant. And I can't remember, somebody chime in, the thyroid, if it's high, I think it could prevent pregnancy or cause a miscarriage. So you want to have all those checked, and you can do that before you find your RE. Oh, thank you, Latifa. I've done IVF with 150 Clomid or 3 pills of letrozole, but for my IVF, they gave me 100 Clomid. What do you think? I was wondering why they went down. Why are they giving you Clomid for your IVF, Evelyn? Are you also doing injectables with the Clomid? And I think you said you had 7 eggs, so you produced a lot. Yeah, I'm not sure why they went down. Ask them though. I mean, because we could speculate. Just ask them why they went down. Maybe because you did really well, and they felt like that was enough. They're looking at the number of follicles you have and your estrogen level. So there's a balance that they're looking for, and maybe what they saw kind of dictated them to, go a little bit lower. But I would just ask them what was up with that. Cindy, I'm 39 too. My insurance that covers infertility stops at 45. So you have about 6 years, Cindy. But I mean, as you know, your chances are greater now, 39, 40, than on the other side of 40. Your chances of IVF success rates are higher now than when you hit 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Reese, should I try IUI first? So Reese, I would say no. I would say bypass IUI and go right to IVF. just because time is not on your side. It is more difficult after 35 to get pregnant via IUI because your egg, the outer part of your egg, starts thickening of our eggs, all of ours, and so it makes it harder for the sperm to penetrate. So if cost and time are equal for you, I would err on the side of time and move right to IVF. My IUIs were at age 37, but I had a block tube and a not so healthy other. Right? Oh, you did them at 37. Okay. That was Tanika TTC. I knew you had I forgot about the block tube, but I didn't know that. Yeah. Sorry, IUI. Oh, Evelyn with the IUI on the Clomid. So Evelyn, if it was IUI, then it was probably because you were producing more follicles. Because some clinics won't go through with an IUI. Like if you have, I think, 4 or more potential follicles because they're worried about multiple pregnancies. So that could be why they went down on your medication, so that you would not create as many follicles. But I would just ask them. In IVF, you want as many as possible, right? In IUI, it's more controlled because those eggs are going to be released and you're sending the sperm in. So that is probably it. But I would just ask them, say, hey, I noticed my meds went down. What's up with that? Hello, dominant man. I'm well. How are you? Sophia Smith, I'll be 38 at the end of this year, and I've only had one pregnancy that ended in an early miscarriage. I'm sorry, Sophia. My husband and I have used a donor 3 times with no success. With everything going on, I'm skeptical. Donor egg or donor sperm, Sophia? And 3 times, if it's donor sperm, I guess it could be IUI or IVF. If it's donor egg, it'd have to be IVF. Do you have any more of your embryos left? Yeah. Uh-oh, my internet is buffering again. Okay, it's back. Natalia, you're from LA. Hello, I used to live in LA. I lived over in near Loyola Marymount. I lived in LA for 15 years, I think. TSH over 2.5. Okay, so the thyroid stimulating hormone, Tanika TTC, is saying over 2.5. That's not good when you're TTC. So to be fair, 2.5 is normal, but not for pregnancy. They want you under 2.5 ideally. Okay. Thank you, Tanika. Sophia, I need to find an RE that takes no insurance. I just had to cancel mine. I feel like if my doctors that I've had really weren't helping us, just going through the motions, I'm really getting bummed. Oh no. Okay. I think all REs will let you go with no insurance because it's very rare, unfortunately, sadly, for people to have full fertility benefits. And so most REs will take cash only patients. Just be super diligent about how they're billing you and what's going on. Ask a million questions. Because if you had insurance, they would be doing that for you. You just want to make sure there are I've just seen the bills come back where they've miscoded stuff or they've overcharged for things and the insurance swatted it back. So I would assume that happens on the cash side as well. I would just check out for that. But they weren't helping you. They were going through the motions. Why? Why do you think they weren't helping you? Why would they spend their time and your time to not help you? Like, do you think they were just trying to appease you? Or if you feel like you're running out of time, move quickly. I know that feeling. I definitely know that feeling. I relate. Look, Tanika TTC said all REs will take your cash. I thought so. ANAM, I lost my baby. I had to get a DNC on New Year's. Oh, and methodextrate. I know what you mean. I did that too, and that's horrible when they tell you it's going to be. And then I just had the HSG. Everything is normal. This is our first month to continue. Try again. I just refill progesterone. I would take the progesterone then, especially if you had the miscarriage. Definitely take it. Yep. I would take it. And then start testing. Probably if you can wait till 12 days post ovulation, that'd be good. So 5 days from today, because I think you said you're 7 DPO today. Dominant man, fine, thanks. And you, I'm hanging in there, dominant man. Cindy, I did a retrieval on my 39th birthday. I want to do another retrieval, hopefully in June, and if God willing, a third retrieval before the year is over and start transferring sooner or after. Yeah, Cindy, I think that's the right approach, right? Do as many retrievals as you can. And I know you've been working on your egg quality and whatnot, so that's good. Are you doing PGS? Or are you going to just bank them and wait and see? Tanya, yours is buffering. We're all on the internet these days. My doctors have just had us doing it naturally. Okay, so you're doing timed intercourse. Are they giving you? No, you said naturally, so no meds, no ovulation induction. It might be time to up the ante and do a little more guided procedures with their help. They gave me Clomid 150 when we use the donor sperm each cycle, but I'm irregular. Oh, so I don't know why they would give you the Clomid if you're irregular. 150, but I guess did that help? Did that bring on the ovulation? Did they have you do a trigger at first? I'm not sure why a doctor would have you going and just doing it naturally. Like if that are these reproductive endocrinologists, and how long did they have you doing it naturally? Reese Marie. Oh, thank you. Oh no, you lost your first and only child who miscarried at 36. Just been a little afraid of IVF and being disappointed. I get it, and I'm sorry for your loss. I've had two on this part of my journey. I do have an older daughter, so I can mentally prepare you for. I get being afraid of IVF and being disappointed, but I think will you regret it more if you don't try at all, or will you regret it if you try it and it doesn't work? I think that's what you kind of have to weigh out. I always try to think of what would be my worst case scenario. And so that's why I keep that's how I keep coming to my next step, right? What will I regret? I don't want to look back. Sorry, I just got fixated on something on the counter. I don't want to look back and say, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I want to know that I tried because it's important to me. And I think, I'm not going to tell myself no. I'm not going to tell myself no. Sophia, they were just rushing us through every appointment, never really answering questions. That's when I found you and started doing. Oh, good. I'm glad you started doing research. If they're rushing you, yeah, that's a bad sign, right? Because then it feels like you're in a factory. They're like, get in, get out. Yeah, that's not good. Cindy is not doing PGS. Going to transfer embryos in me and hope for the best. In the meantime, I'm doing IUI, letrozole. I did have a thick uterine lining. Doc prescribed me tamoxifen. Oh, right. So you're doing that instead of Clomid or Femera. So, which is interesting because Clomid usually thins your lining out. Were you taking Femera before? Or are you saying on tamoxifen you had the thick uterine lining? If the doctors aren't taking time to answer your questions, it's time for a new doctor. Yes, Tanika TTC, I agree 100%. They should definitely have time to answer your questions. And I think it's a weird situation, right? Because at least my upbringing, you don't really question the doctors, but we're in this together. We have to be able to partner. We have to be able to have a conversation in whatever capacity we have to understand it. I think, I know that I'm a research nut, so I probably ask, but I will say the last two, my doctor at Columbia and my doctor now at Share, have been very receptive to me answering questions and very practical with answering them. So I'm not saying you have to do more research on it, but they should be able to explain it to you in a way that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, ask it again. Tell them it doesn't make sense. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. You haven't gone to however many years of school they've gone to be doing this. And so sometimes they may forget because they're in it all day. Just like, I don't know, whatever you do in your job, how you can kind of do it, like, it like the back of your hand. So you may rattle off something to someone else, like a new person or whatever, and they don't know. It's okay to say you don't know it and ask them to explain it to you. That's their job. That's what they're being paid to do. So I know it can be a little intimidating sometimes. And I think, I've talked to some ladies, I know they get emotional and then they'll start yelling at the doctor and whatnot. That is not going to help because the doctor will shut down. It is an emotional journey, so I get why they're being emotional. I'm not judging. I just want the conversation to be as productive as possible for you. And so I think the calmer you can be, the more informed you can be, the better it is for you, the better outcome. It's already a stressful thing, right? Wanting to make babies, it's already a stressful thing. And so for me, the more information I have, the less stressful it can be. It just gives me peace of mind. And so if you can figure out a way to advocate for yourself and get the information that you need to make the best decisions. And I know a lot of ladies have reached out to me and was like, I'm this age and the doctor's telling me all these negative stats. Well, the stats are just that. They're a picture of what happened in the past. don't know the future. They're using it to predict the future, but they don't always get it right. It's just like, I'm sure you guys are watching the news. I'm pointing there because that's where the TV is. But the COVID-19, you know, they're predicting what's going to happen, but they don't know. So they model it of what it might look like. And then if something going to, I'm buffering again. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. They are going to try to talk you into donor eggs, like at your first visit, if you are 42, 43, 44, or older. It's in their best interest, right? That can be quicker, faster, but you have to be there emotionally. So even if they're telling you like these stats and you still feel you want to have a go with your own eggs, have that conversation with them and say, I understand what you're saying. I understand the odds are not on my side. But if there is a 1% chance, and obviously I'm not speaking for you, you have to decide for yourself what your percentage is or what level you're willing to go. But if there's a 1% chance, and that's how I felt, then I want to try it. Unless you tell me 0, I want to try it. So you have to figure out what that is for you. Okay. No trigger, and it was my OB. I was waiting on a referral to an RE, but they kept saying that's the next step. Sophia, they are wasting your time, honey. I'm sorry. Yeah, run, don't walk, find yourself an RE. Bye, Sarah E. It's midnight. Okay, let's get those babies, ladies. Sophia agrees. That's why she left. Okay, should my lining be thick or thin for better implantation? I'm still regular with my periods. It should be, it's like Goldilocks, just right. It shouldn't be too thin. It shouldn't be too thick. And they measure it out for you when you go in. If it's too thin, they'll try to thicken it up first. If it's too thick, sometimes I've seen cycles get canceled. Yeah, there is. They should measure it and tell you what it is. If your ultrasound person is just like clicking, you can ask, hey, what's my lining today? That way, if you start asking, you have a frame of reference, right? Because you go in on cycle day 2 or 3, and then you keep going in for ultrasounds and blood work. And you can ask, hey, what's my lining today? At the beginning of the period as you go along. But it is literally like Goldilocks porridge. You want it to be just right. But they should talk to you about it and let you know what their range is, because each clinic can have a different range. So what range are they looking to hit? Usually they don't tell you, and that just means everything is fine. But again, I like information, so I like to ask. And then I would do things like during my cycle, like pomegranate juice and other things, pomegranate juice and other things to help have a healthy lining. But yeah, just ask them. Cindy, Clomid and Letrozole thin uterine lining. Letrozole does not thin the uterine lining. It's the Clomid. That was one of the reasons why I specifically asked for Letrozole. And usually if someone is thinned out from Clomid, they will switch you to Letrozole. Clomid has a longer half-life, so it stays in your cycle longer than Letrozole, where Letrozole has a very short half-life, so it dissipates out of your body very quickly. Clomid does not. So sometimes people will have the effects of Clomid for 2-3 months after they've stopped taking it. Tamoxifen have a thick lining, no success, but IUI still trying. Has a thick lining. So I'm curious as to why they want you to have a thick lining. I wish I had done IVF before. Oh, Evelyn, I wish I had done egg freezing before. I said that, but then I talked to a doctor and they were like, that technology at the time you would have done it wouldn't have even guaranteed that your eggs would have been able to be thawed. So we are where we are, right? We have to figure out a way forward. We are where we are. We can't change, even though we would love to. I don't know. Because I do think about that. Like, what if I would have had more kids early? It wouldn't have made sense. Who would I have had them with? I don't know that I was free enough mentally to consider donor sperm. So I just have to look at it as where am I today? Cindy, this is currently IUI. We'll be doing an April. Doc prescribed me gonal F. Oh, wow. Okay. So you're doing injectable IUI. That's cool. It wasn't as miserable or traumatic as I think the medicine they gave me. I just wasn't mentally prepared for it to be so painful. Like I could literally feel my cervix opening, like contracting, or having contractions. It was just a weird, trippy thing. And the doctor was like, it'll be like a bad period. And I didn't agree. So Evelyn is now 44. So your son is like 4 or 5. And I've had so many IUIs. First IVF in March. I decided to do it after watching your videos. Oh, I'm glad that I helped you get there. Sophia, or Tamika's second is Sophia, asking your PCP to refer you to an RE if your OB won't. PCP is primary care provider, or your general practitioner, I think, if you don't have a PCP. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, of course, ANA. Thank you for your prayers. I appreciate it. Faith as big as a mustard seed. Absolutely. Reese Marie, I remember a video you did on increasing your follicle count. What happened with the results? With the results of that cycle, I'm not sure what you mean. I was able to increase my follicle count because when I first started, it was, I did it with DHEA. I'm not taking DHEA now, but it worked fine. Where letrozole, Gona-F, and supplemented by Minipure. Oh, wow. Okay. Letrozole, Gona-F. I don't think I knew that. And supplemented by Minipure. And then you did a trigger shot too, right? Tamika TTC. I feel like I saw you in a video doing a trigger shot. Oh, you know what? I sent you a link. There was somebody on Instagram who was talking about where have people done IVF shots in unique places. And I thought about you at Universal Studios in Orlando doing your shots in line. So I added you to that. I don't know if you saw that yet. But hopefully you'll weigh in on that. That was a fun Instagram thread. Therese, right. My first clinic was RMA. From day one, they pushed for donor eggs. Was it RMA New York? Because that was the speech I got. Dr. McAvoy was like, keep looking. Absolutely. And I think it's so important. Like, if you don't vibe with that doctor, you can try another doctor in that clinic or leave clinics. Like, time is too precious, right? Like, don't keep hoping and praying they're going to wake up one day and be the doctor for you. They're not. They're wasting your time. And you cannot get that back, girl. Hopefully this isn't an all things love one. Hello, all things love one. At what age should I really start evaluating my fertility? I'm 37. Now you should start evaluating it now. All things my love. All things love one. Sorry. I don't want to scare you with statistics, but in general, our fertility as women starts to decline at the age of 35. And I say in general because sometimes it happens before. A lot of women experience it before 30. If I would start now, if you were thinking about having a child, if everything checks out fine, you can store your eggs now because maybe you're not ready to have it, but you can store your eggs. If you have a husband or a partner that you want to have the child with, you can create embryos and have those embryos stored. But I would definitely move. Oh, you did respond to me, TTC. Okay, I have to. Oh yeah, you did have triggers. I have to go back on Instagram and look at that. I loved that thread. I thought that was such a cool thread. Triggers all 3 times. Cindy, did she have success? She didn't. She ended up moving on to IVF. Hi there. It was New Jersey RMA. Okay. So yeah, RMA, they have high stats. They want to keep their stats high. So a way to do that is to encourage donor, because your success rates, at least as they tout them, are higher with the donor eggs. But they're kind of ensuring that, right? By also guiding everyone toward donor eggs, they're kind of ensuring that that's what's going to happen. The fact, I understand it more now, the fact that she was unwilling at Arnold than about me and what I needed. She just was like, well, once you carry the baby, it'll be like it's yours. And I wasn't there yet emotionally. And it was at my first visit with her. So it was just, in retrospect, I should have never gone back there, but can't do it over. Just got to move forward. IG is Instagram, Cindy, Instagram. Yes, you're welcome. All things love one. Oh, someone else answered it. IG is Instagram. You have a hubby. Yeah. So if you guys he should get checked out too. I don't know how old he is, all things love one, but he should be checked as well. Because sperm also starts to decline, which is interesting because even though older men still have babies, it does start to decline. So the younger the sperm, the younger the egg, the better the chance. But it doesn't mean it's impossible. And hopefully everything is okay. But the sooner you can find out kind of what you're dealing with, the better. You want to get your blood work done. What's your prolactin look like? What does your TSH look like? You want to have his sperm checked. They're going to look for 3 things. Motility, oh my God, morphology, and mobility. So how fast can it move? What does it look like? Is there abnormal? So my previous donor had a high level of sperm that were not formed properly. So it was a 1% morphology, which made it more challenging. So I had to do ICSI for all my IVFs. One, because of my age and the outer shell of the egg being harder, but also because they had to find the more perfect sperm, the ones that did not have issues. So, and then you want to make sure they're going in the right direction, right? So can they swim upward? Because that's where they have to go. And the count. So count, I wouldn't worry too much about as long as there's something there, because if need be, you can progress to IVF, and they, if you have one sperm, they can pick that one sperm out and do the ICSI, which is the intracytoplasmic sperm injection. They can take that one sperm. It's internet. Okay, I'm back. They can take that one sperm, but you just kind of want to know what your overall reproductive system looks like. And if you want, you can start with your GYN. Like if you go in on cycle day 3, they can tell you what your follicle count is. It changes every cycle, but in general, it's going to be in a certain range. But yeah, at the beginning of the cycle day 3 is when you would have, like, those are the eggs that have been, the follicles that have been summoned to the party for that pregnancy trip. And so you'll know how many you have. Like, do you have 7? Do you have 10? So those are all kind of like indicators of where your current fertility picture stands. What happened with the follicles? Were they not viable? No, the follicles were viable. They were. I have a hubby. He's 42. I went to RMA at Baskin Ridge. Oh, she's talking to Teresa. That's Cindy. How my 2 IVF egg retrievals with PGS went. My lack of success with IUI also probably had to do with egg quality. Oh, that's a good point, Tanika TTC. So yeah, and unfortunately, egg quality is, they can tell you that it's probably that, but there's no way to prove it definitively because you can't test the egg, right? So it's always, sometimes I see women who are much younger being told that it's their egg quality by the doctors, and it pisses me off, quite frankly, because the way they're phrasing it is inappropriate. It could be the egg quality. They can't definitively say that. Of course, as we get older, your egg quality declines, but I don't know. I just wish they'd be a little more hopeful. Some doctors are not. They don't have good bedside manner. Sometimes when people send me like DMs or whatever, and they're telling me what their doctor said, it makes me want to cry. Like, it puts me near tears. And so I can't imagine sitting in a room with a doctor who said such horrible, insensitive things to someone. I don't get it. I don't know what good it does to say that to someone, right? Or to phrase it in the way that they're phrasing it. But that's me. I'm a sensitive soul, if you guys haven't figured that out. Oh my God. So, oh yes. Hey, Cali girl. I'm a Cali girl at heart, even though I'm a New Yorker for the last 12 years, which sounds crazy to say. Hubby is 51. Okay, so it's not impossible. He needs to get his sperm tested, though. I mean, they'll tell you what your odds are. If you end up doing IVF, you may end up doing ICSI. It's not the end of the world. It costs a little bit more, but it's not the end of the world. It's about getting those babies. So, and if God forbid, if something is wrong, then you guys have to have a conversation about donor sperm. Is he open to that? You can pick a donor that looks like him. There are still options. There's a YouTuber, I can't think of her name now, but her husband had 0 sperm. So they had to actually do a procedure, which now I'm drawing a blank on what it's called. Testes. They had to go into his testicle, like inside of his body, a surgery to get sperm. And I think they got like literally 2. And they fertilized. Unfortunately, she had a miscarriage, but it is, there are things, you guys could be totally fine, or it could be totally dramatic. My point is, I'm not trying to scare you, is that no matter what comes back, I think having the information helps you make an informed decision about how to move forward, right? Or helps you kind of prepare for mentally what your playing field looks like. So I could speculate to the cows come home. It could come back perfectly fine. You could come back in 3 months and tell me you're pregnant, and I'll be in here doing cartwheels. So I'm just trying to give you a picture of what the spectrum looks like. Got my period 2 days ago, but no flow. Is this normal after the retrieval? I don't know. I've only done 2 retrievals. And my period did not change when I had my retrieval, so I'm not sure. Um, oh wait, it's April 2nd, so March. It should be like 12 to 14 days, whatever your normal luteal phase is. Because you just did a retrieval. Let's see, March 17th. Did they give you progesterone after? I'm not imagining why they would, but I'm just asking. It should be normal. You got your period 2 days ago, but no flow. What does that mean? Like your period's not coming down? I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. I would hate to have viable follicles and have the doctor push me for donor eggs. There's no way to tell until you try, right? And so I just want to clarify because the follicles are what's housing the egg. So you could have 10 follicles grow, but each of them may not have an egg, or each of them may not have a mature egg. So that's going to depend. So the follicle is the housing for the egg. It's not the egg itself. So you could have viable eggs in the follicle. They would have to pull them out, and they have to then inject them, or not inject them. They have to fertilize them. So I'm saying inject because that's what happened to mine. But they would have them fertilized. And I want to say the difference between ICSI and a regular IVF is they would just put the eggs in a dish, and they put the sperm in the dish, and they'd let them go at it. And the sperm would naturally seek out the egg altogether, like they do inside the body. It's just done in a lab instead, versus an ICSI where they take one single sperm and inject it directly into the egg and hope for fertilization. That doesn't guarantee fertilization, but it increases your odds. So yeah, the only way to know if they're viable is to take them out and try to fertilize them. As long as they're mature, they will attempt fertilization. They will not attempt to fertilize an immature egg. They will wait. I had that last time, and then the egg matured on its own, which is why I felt like it was a good quality egg. It matured outside the body, and it was fine, and it took the sperm and grew. So that's why I'm like, that sounded like a pretty good egg to me, but what do I know? I've seen people come out with eggs that were not mature and did not mature outside the body, and they were not able to be fertilized. So vitamin D was extremely low. Ooh, so vitamin D is another one. You want to take supplements for that then. Obviously, you can get vitamin D in the sun, but depending on where you are, New York, for example, East Coast, for example, you're not getting as much sun as if, for example, you're in California or Florida. So you definitely want to supplement your vitamin D. In fact, I got some because I met with my herbalist / acupuncturist earlier, or now it was last week. She sent me vitamin D. She said that's good for the immune system as well. So you definitely want to bone up on your vitamin D. Tanika TTC was saying her vitamin D was in the toilets. That could have been it. That also could have been it. Yeah. Age 35, my FSH was 11.5, and doc said to use donor egg. Yeah, I don't know why they would base donor egg off of FSH alone. 11.5 is actually not that high. You want it under 10, ideally. If it's over 20, they won't do an IVF with you because they're worried that you won't respond. But FSH changes every month. I mean, unless you came back with a 50, which I had at one point, which then they forever use that as part of their averaging. But FSH changes every single cycle. So that alone, I would have left the doctor if they were just basing it on one cycle, FSH being 11.5, wanting donor eggs. Like that seems so unfair. Evelyn, vitamin D was also low. Take the vitamin D. Okay. Hey, Tanya and Ann, what's up? I'm all right. How you doing, sis? Very light and dark. Like light flow, dark color. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. It could just be an odd cycle. I would say count the days out. Oh, wait a minute. Did you have sex afterwards? Because maybe you're pregnant. They tell you not to have sex because everything is open. You could have had an egg in there that they didn't get, or an egg release later, and you could be spotting. Or it could be implantation bleeding. I'm not trying to get your hopes up. I'm just saying, if you had sex after your egg retrieval, unprotected sex, you could be pregnant. take vitamin D now. Ari never tested my D3 until I requested him to after my first of only two PGS normal. Oh, wow. So you're saying your vitamin D directly impacted your embryo quality. That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. But yeah, found it was low, fixed it through a few other things at the next cycle and success. I remember you took, I have to go back. I think you had a video. You took a couple of other things. I think you took either the NAD or the NAC and some other stuff to help with embryo quality. I'm a believer in vitamins for embryo quality. I've seen it happen. So obviously I can't prove that it improved the embryo quality. The outcome improved. So that's what I'll say, because I think I don't want to mislead people. I can't tell you embryo quality any more than a doctor can. And the doctor can't because it's only one cell, so they cannot test it. Have you considered stem cell therapy for ovaries? Still experimental. I've looked at it, my raisins one. I haven't seen any studies that showed improvement. So it's not something I've considered for myself, but I've definitely heard ladies talk about it. It just seems like an invasive procedure that could lead to something. So I'm not up for it. And it's expensive too. Hey, Sabrina. Okay, mine was slightly low by 1%. I'm so curious as how long we were trying. I think because you came to New York. That's how. You got that good New York magic. Vitamin D. It was low by 1%. That's interesting. Vitamin D is one of the things. So vitamin D, test prolactin. I would test DHEA as well. TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Anything else, Tanika, TTC? I would say, like, everybody knows I'm a big fan of CoQ10, ubiquinol. DHEA I was taking, not taking that anymore. At the recommendation of the RE, my DHA went through the roof. Although, as stressed as I am with everything going on, who knows? I haven't obviously had anything tested since I've been here, and I've been here, it'll be 2 months next week. So Erin pregnant. Congratulations. Awesome. A lot of out of focus on my TTC journey. How do I get back on track? One day at a time, Sabrina. I think there's so much going on right now. One, don't beat yourself up that you're out of focus. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of stuff that can be scary and unsure. So I think deep breaths. Make a list. Like, what do you want to tackle first? Do you want to work on eating better? Do you want to work on sleeping better? Like, figure out some self-care stuff. Take really good care of yourself first to help kind of de-stress, and then come up with a plan from there. I think centering yourself first and grounding yourself is like the key before you come up with any plans, because otherwise you won't stick to it. Like, since I've been here, I was not eating well. I would say the last 2 weeks I've done better. I didn't go grocery shopping. I had them delivered, but I got groceries that I eat just because, my sister and my mom and I haven't lived in the same house for 30 years. So it's a little crazy. But we eat very differently. Like, I eat a lot of organic stuff, like fresh vegetables. My sister likes frozen vegetables. So a lot of that, I just had to get my food. Like, I like kombucha juice. I got that. I got berries in the fridge. So that's what I'm focusing on. I've been taking the dog for a walk. For those of you who haven't seen her, she's here. Elsa. Try twice a day. It hasn't always been twice a day, but just to get exercise. So I think take care of yourself, get some candles, and, just center yourself. I would start there and then build on that foundation. Vitamin D affects egg quality as well as implantation. If it wasn't low, my IUIs may have worked. Right. Okay. Maybe the first transfer would have worked. We'll never know. Yes, we'll never know. And you can't go back, right? But you can just build on the information that you have, Tanika TTC. And I think your little bundle of joy speaks for himself on how well it works. You found out about the vitamin D when you were 17 weeks. Wow. Okay. So it was 1% or lower than 1%, K, when you were 17 weeks pregnant. That's when you found out? That's incredible. Vitamin D is over 30. Cindy, still no success. I don't know what your lab range is. What's in range at the lab that they're giving you a 30? Like, what's your target? You want it to be at the higher end of whatever it is. Sabrina. Used to be focused on having a baby. Now with everything going, I haven't been focused on diet or exercise. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. So I would say take care of you first, right? Like put on your own life mask on the plane first and then figure it out from there. How and when I will get pregnant again, Tanya is saying after the ectopic pregnancy and losing my right tube and ovary. Oh, yes. One, be good to yourself. Two, there are a lot of our TTC sisters who have had one tube and gotten pregnant. The ovary is a bit of a sting. I mean, I think all of it is a loss. I think you have to acknowledge the loss, right? And say, and mourn however feels good for you. Love yourself. Like, I know it's, at least for me, sometimes in the early parts, I would be judging my body or angry in some way. And I think, that was wasted energy. Just do an inventory. You didn't do anything wrong. Your body is not failing you. Take the time to love yourself. I know your body is different now. It feels different. You're aware that your ovary and your tube are gone. You got to love yourself anyway, though. You got to love yourself as you are, because you can't change it, right? You can't get your ovary back. You can't get your tube back. So you got to love yourself where you are. Take yourself as you are and move forward from there. Bad situation, wish a miracle. I would have a baby someday. Watch your videos for inspiration. Live vicariously. Yes. Miracles happen. I mean, babies are miracles, period. So don't count yourself out. I have never been diagnosed with PCOS, but I do have all the symptoms. Didn't you say DHA shouldn't be taken? That is correct. If you think you have PCOS, do not take DHEA. Your hormones are already high. And in fact, don't take DHEA unless you've had your blood work done. That's what I'm saying when I'm talking about your blood work when I'm saying look at your DHEA, look at your vitamin D, look at your prolactin. All of that you will see in a blood test, depending on what it is. And again, each lab has a range of what it should be. And for DHEA, it's an age-specific range. So as we get older, our DHEA naturally declines, just like our CoQ10 in our system naturally declines. So you want to target your younger self. So you don't want to look at your range for whatever age you are. You want to look at your range for like the 25 to 30-year-old woman, what her DHEA range is. And you want to strive to be in that range so that you're basically sending yourself back in time. It's not possible, but you're resetting your hormone level as if you were younger. I used herbs, a lot of guava leaves, cinnamon stick on bay leaves was my tea routine morning and night multivitamins, quail eggs. Oh, yum. With orange juice. Wait, did you have them raw quail eggs? I don't know. Very fancy. Where did you get the quail eggs? Did you have to go to a specialty place? Help me after 6 years of trying. That's awesome, Arlene. I'm glad that worked for you. Here's Tanika TTC. She took PQQ, ubiquinol, NAC. Yeah, NAC is really, really good. Magnesium, B complex, alpha lipoic, and NAC helps the glutathione, which is your master antioxidant. It helps it grow. Hello, Elsa. Yes, ma'am. We're gonna go in a minute. Don't rush, Auntie. Acetal L-carnitine, myoinositol. Yeah, those are all great. I would say the only thing, the acetal L-carnitine, if you have herpes, do not take that. Doc said over 30 and mine was 34, I think. Okay, so as long as you know what your lab range was, 36. And so do you have your paperwork? Do you see on the lab work where it says what the range is? I'm just trying to figure out if you're in the high end or low end of your lab's range. Looking like a debonair Jackie O with flavor. Hey, Cheyenne. Oh my God, that's hilarious. What's going on, baby girl? For those of you who don't know, the Cheyenne Maxie in the thread, that's my daughter, who's in New York, hopefully you're inside now, hopefully staying safe. Grandma and Auntie are out getting Grandma's out getting a blood transfusion. They should be back soon. It was at 29.99 once they did the second trimester testing. Okay, percent. Okay, that's awesome. Oh my God. I'm wondering, did they have you do an infusion or anything? I did injections for the vitamin D when I was back in New York. Erlane had PCOS, but beetroot juice is good with honey. Oh, really? Is that beetroot is different than beets? I'm sorry if that's a dumb question. I just don't know. Has a long name, but studies say it improves the effect of the ubiquinol. Yes, yes, and it will. I'm gonna look it up really fast. It usually when you buy them, like if you buy it on Amazon, it will recommend it with the ubiquinol, and it'll give you. Oh my God, it's pyrroliquinoline quinone. I'm gonna paste it into the thread so you guys can see it. Wait, Elsa, don't fall, don't fall. Hold on, baby. Hold on, I gotta do a Command C so I can paste this into the thread, Carly. She is like about to hop down and I'm on a bar stool. Scaring me. Your mom's gonna kill me. Okay, I put it in the thread what the PQQ is. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, okay, okay. You wanna get down? Bye, lady. Okay. Do quail eggs taste like chicken eggs? I have had them cooked and no, they do not. Tanya, I'm trying to stay focused and heal, but I keep counting my weeks like I'm still pregnant and that's not good. Oh, don't judge yourself though. If that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. You got to figure out what works for you and just love yourself. I don't know that you'll ever stop counting them. I did when I had the loss and it was like I knew my due date. I knew the mind has to do what the mind, just let your process play itself out and not. There's no wrong way to grieve your loss. There's no wrong way. That's what I want to say. And call me if you need me. You have my number. You can call me. Let's give a shout out to Tanika for sharing her journey. Oh, thank you. Raw quail egg, yeah, but in the glass of orange juice, just close your eyes while taking it. Quail egg from the grocery. I do not have quail eggs in my grocery. I mean, granted, I order online, but like Fresh Direct, I'm gonna look because I'm here in California. I've only had it out in a restaurant, or like if I'm trying to think. No, I was gonna say maybe when I lived on the Lower East Side, but is it just right in the next to the regular eggs, like in the dairy section? I'm not a fan of any raw egg though, so I'm like with the orange juice. But if it gets you closer and it works, if you're comfortable with it, if you like it, I love it, as my mom would say. Thank you, Tanya, for the appreciation. Amen, ladies, and yes, thank you. Oh, always, always. I'm glad we are able to support each other. Has one that includes both PQQ and ubiquinol. Oh, nice. Okay. I do a high dose of ubiquinol, so I do the 300 milligram. When I'm in an active cycle, I'll double it up. So I'll take 2 tablets a day. So I'll have 600. I haven't ordered PQQ in a while. It gets expensive after a while. So I think, and I got tired of taking pills and I went to like a patch and something else, but yeah. Tamika is recommending Jarrow. The one I do is like a super long name. Hold on, I'm going to look on Amazon. And I'll tell you what it is. It's like the Earth's, Nature's, blah, 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 blah. Let me see my past orders. I'm sure you guys can hear me clicking, but I'm over on my Amazon page. Health Through Nutrition is the brand that I use. Health Through Nutrition. And that I get it on Amazon. Okay. Thank you, Tanya. Oh, Cheyenne said Instacart, Amazon Fresh, and Fresh Direct are all on strike right now. If we are forced to go to the grocery store, let's keep our list handy. Absolutely. Instacart delivered for me yesterday, although, it's normally within 5 hours and I had to wait 3 days. But, and Amazon Fresh delivered for me on Monday. So there's no Fresh Direct out here, Shy. But yeah, I saw where I didn't know about the Amazon Fresh. I saw where the Amazon workers were saying their, places were not sanitary or they were being forced to clean it themselves. Although I would be happy to clean my own stuff because then I would know it was properly clean, but they're not like practicing social distancing. They're using masks. I don't know. If they stop doing it and us going out, I'm just not comfortable rolling around the grocery store. Like I did go with Auntie Erica to Sprouts and some lady and her kid, I was getting candy because I was wanting gummy bears. And her kid were like hovering over me to I guess, encouraged me to move faster. So I just turned around and I asked her, like, are you aware of the social distancing? And she was, listen, I'm trying to protect you. I'm trying to protect me. Back it up. But yeah, I worry about the grocery workers too, and they're not wearing masks. That's not 6 feet when you're there, I don't know. It's a bad situation all around. I mean, on the one hand, I was glad that people could still work because obviously Amazon Fresh, you can't work from home and you wouldn't have income. But I'm not ever advocating that your life is worth any dollar. If you can stay home, absolutely you should. I don't know why I'm rambling. Sorry, guys. Anyway, Cheyenne, Instacart delivered to me yesterday. It was two lovely women of color who brought my stuff right to my door. Although they did overcharge me. I ordered a 5-pound box of clementines, and I only got a 2-pound bag, but that's another story. Oh, thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate you. Sprouts. So, Sprouts is where I ordered from on Instacart, and Sprouts is where I was at the bins getting the stuff when the lady and her little girl were hovering all over me. I did buy a reusable bag. It's somewhere over here. It had some cute saying on there, but that is where the Instacart people went for me yesterday with Sprouts. But I'm going to now go on there and look for quail eggs. Although I'm not going to be eating any raw eggs. Like no. At work today, a coworker said Costco is only letting people in 3 at a time. See, that makes sense to me, Sophia. So people are not in their pack. I just don't understand. It's better for the workers. It's better for the people until we get through all this. But I think some people are still not taking this virus seriously. Finally put us on a shelter in place here for the whole state of Georgia. Yeah, you guys had a lot of cases popping up, so I'm glad to hear that. Hi, Wilma. Hey, Sam. Hello from Africa. Where in Africa? Okay, I'm going to go. I think I just saw my sister's car pull up, and they're going to be coming in shortly. So my mom does not like to be on camera. And I don't want to take up all the space in the house. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you have any additional questions, head over to Instagram. I'm there, simply.tanika. Hit me in the DMs. Email me. It takes me longer to get to the email. Instagram, I'm in there most of the day. So the fastest way to reach me is Instagram. Tanya, text me, call me if you need to talk. I'm here. Tanika, TTC, thank you as always for all the information and good vibes. I appreciate you, sis. Kiss the little man for me. Yeah. All right, ladies. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Baby does to us all.